Before you continue, you will need to check your stitch formation. This is what your 4-thread stitch should look like. Let's take one thread at a time. By using the same color thread as your tension dials, your overlock stitch should look like this. The yellow thread, which is your left needle, forms a straight line on the top of your fabric. The red thread, which is your right needle thread, also forms a straight line on the top of the fabric. On the underside, you should see a small knot tied at the base of the Y-shaped loop. The right thread also ties the knot in the center of the Y-shaped loop. The blue loop on the underside of your fabric is your lower looper. This should extend from the seam line to the edge of the fabric. The green loop on the top side of your fabric is your upper looper. It should also extend from the seam line to the base of the fabric. If your sample does not look like this, you may need to make some tension adjustments. If your sample looks like this with loops on the back side instead of knots, most likely you have not engaged the thread into the tension disc. To correct this problem, tug on the thread while pushing on the tension disc release button to make sure it's engaged in the tension disc. In this example, the loopers do not meet along the edge of the fabric. You'll notice that the lower looper is pulled to the front side of the fabric. To correct this problem, you will first want to loosen your upper looper tension. Run a test sample. If this does not correct the problem, you may need to increase your lower looper tension. Be sure to only adjust one tension dial at a time before you run a test sample. If you have adjusted your looper tension correctly, the loop should meet along the edge of the fabric. If your fabric is puckering, this may be caused by needle tensions. You may need to loosen the needle thread tensions. The looper thread tensions should not affect the pucker of the fabric. If this does not correct the problem, and since your machine has differential feed, you may want to check that it is set on 1. On a heavier fabric such as fleece or denim, you may find it necessary to increase your needle thread tensions. On lighter weight fabrics such as cotton and silk, you may find it necessary to decrease your needle thread tension. Normally, as you change weights of fabric, your needle thread tensions are the only adjustments that are necessary. Also included with your book is a quick reference guide that clearly illustrates the results of these adjustments. Your machine settings will vary depending on the type of fabric and thread that you will be using. Test sew with a scrap of the fabric and thread that you will be using for your project before you actually begin the project. There is a setting record page in the back of your instruction manual for you to record your different settings. This record of settings will be helpful for future projects using similar thread and fabric.